Hi, my name's Ken Colby. I'm the author of Laser Photo Wizard. Today I want to talk to you about our new box generator for version 12. But before we get started, I'll give you a little history. First of all, Laser Photo Wizard was uh, built to do laser engraving of photos. But after I released a few versions, it became clear that I'd like to do other things with my laser, and I came up with a concept called generators. And these generators are basically programs that create cutouts. And we have three of them now. We have a box generator, a birdhouse generator, and a connected text generator. And later we'll probably add some more. But today we're going to discuss the box generator in detail. So to get ready to generate a box, we need an image size that'll fit our laser. And on my particular laser, it's about an 11 by, well, it's a 12 by 24, so I make it 11 and a half by 23 and a half, just to give a little margin. And you can see today we're not going to add anything to the box, so we're just going to load, let's see, let's go to Documents, Green Screen Wizard, and Laser Sample Photos, and we should have white. There we go. So now we have our image prepared. So the idea is we're going to put a bunch of vector cutouts in here. Now in old versions of the box generator, you'd have to add each individual box part one by one using the load image command. But with version 12, I've created something called a nesting program that will look at all the parts of the box and try to fit it on a page, an image. If it can't fit it on that image, it'll create a second job to put it on a second image. Now you can see here it's taken a long time to do this, so since we're not really doing any dithering, we'll just change that to black and white so it'll go a little faster. Okay. So let's talk about the box generator now. So we have a cube, a box top, and a box bottom. And they basically do what they say they'll do. If you want to create a cube, you can do two things. You can just use it as a cube. I create like a Bible cube with a Bible verse on each side of a cube. You can create inspirational cubes or motivational cubes, whatever you want. Then on top of that, you can also use this to create a lantern. And with the lantern, I put like a cutout. And so you have basically a box, but you then use the import image to do cutouts. But let's start simple and just do a box top. So we're just going to do a box top, and we're going to use this new wave bottom thing. Okay? So to explain what that is, let me show you. So this is a wave box. So basically it creates these little sine waves in the box, and if you do that, it prevents the box top from sliding off right or left or up or down. And it creates what's kind of a cool self-locking box. And I really like these boxes. I think they're going to be a big seller. So that's what the wave's all about. So we have a box top with a wave, and we need to give it a name, so we'll call it box top. Now you probably want to be more descriptive, but anyways, that's the name we'll give it. Then we need some dimensions, so let's do a 6 by 4, and since it's a box top, we'll only do 1 inch. Okay, now the wood thickness is important, and one of the tricks of the trade is you buy one of these digital calipers, and what that'll do is that'll tell you exactly how thick your plywood is, and then you can use an exact measurement. And these things are only like $7, so it's a really great tool. I suggest everybody buy one. You don't have to buy that particular model, but just any brand of caliper. And I found that most of the wood I use is 0.24 inches thick. Now, if you're doing a box that the top is thinner than the sides, you know, for example, like a plexiglass top, then I change these numbers. But today we won't. And since it's a fairly small box, we'll do a 1/4 inch gap. That's going to be the gaps between the ups and downs in the box. Kerf is new. Kerf will allow you to give a little extra space. I found that when I did the cube, sometimes they were hard to put together, and adding a little kerf just makes it really easy to put together. The downside is a little bit of light can show through, and also it's not exactly true. So I think if you're going to do a wave box, it's probably best to leave it at 0, because box tops are pretty easy to put together. It by default picks the size of the image that was already up on the screen, but you can change that. The last thing is this adjust dimensions to fit. I liked it to be actually 1/4 inch steps, so sometimes that doesn't fit perfectly the way the mathematics works out. So I let it adjust the dimensions. If you untick this, then it'll scale it to try to fit into the dimensions you gave it. Okay, so I think that's it. We created box files, and there's our top box. So there's our top and our sides and our front, and we're going to have 2 fronts, 2 sides, and 1 top. So we're done with this box. Let's go to load image, and we go back to green screen wizard, and we have box output, and we say box top. And now this is new. Before we had to bring all of these in individually, but now you can just click this one button here. And there you go. There's your box top, your 2 box sides, and your box fronts. So you just now send this off to the laser, and you're done. Or you can save it and get to it later. But obviously if we have a box top, we need a box bottom. So we go back to generator, and we load a box from box top so that it's the same dimension. And that'll bring in all of our settings. Now we want to use all the same settings, except we want it to be a box bottom, and we want it to have a top wave this time, and we want it to be bigger, so we'll go with like a 3-inch box. And this is something I mess up all the time. I forget to give it a name, but we'll call this a box bottom. Create the box. Okay, everything looks good. And this is a pretty big box, obviously. We get out of here, reload, go up 1, find box bottom, fit it all in one job, and there it is. So you can see it's quite a bit bigger. But again, it did a pretty good job of nesting and keeping all the parts together. And this is, believe me, kind of hard to do in the past. So this wave will fit perfectly into the wave of the one above it. So what if we wanted to do a lantern, a cube? So we go to box generator, we go to cube, and then we'll do a cutout bottom. And let's see, we want a width of 4, and a depth of 4, height of 6, say, and a depth of 4, so it'll be square. 25 is okay, the gap size is okay, adjusting's okay, and we say lantern. Okay, so now these things are not to scale, so let's find our lantern file. And we got it all in one job. Okay, so now let's say that we want to put a cutout in our lantern. We go to Effects, Text Images, add an image, load, and let's just, for fun, do flowers. Click Vectors, OK. Now, there we go. We can click on it and move it to where it goes. Come on, there we go. Oop, didn't move it quite enough. Perfect. Okay, so this would create a lantern with just the flower in the front. We could put other things on the sides or the tops or engravings or whatever else we want to do. It's as simple as that. And this is nice because if you're going to put a cord, there's a place for the cord to come out. If you want to make it flat, of course you could. But that's how you make a lantern. Okay, so let's see how we can make a tray. So we click on the box generator, we go for box bottom, we like a cutout, we do need a side handle. I don't know, let's make it like 12 wide by 8 deep. You gotta remember the handle's almost 6 inches, so can't make that too small. 2 inches tall is probably good enough. You can make it shorter or taller, your choice. And let's put it in tray. Okay, so notice this is jobs equals 2. So the problem is you'll see that we can't fit, even on this big piece, big image, we can't fit the whole thing. So let's go check it out. We go load image, and we look in tray, and we see we have 2 jobs. So we load the first job, and there's our sides and front with the cutouts. And but you can see it couldn't fit the whole, it couldn't put the bottom in here, it just wouldn't fit. So we need to load a second. Well, now we would send this to the engraver, and then we'd load job 2. And there you go. And that's the bottom of the tray. So we can do several things with the bottom. We could import an image and put it on here and engrave it. We could use epoxy or we could put in a photo and then put epoxy on it. One of the things I learned is you should seal, once you assemble the tray, you should seal it with a silicone sealer before you try to put epoxy in it. Otherwise, all the epoxy will run out. Anyways, I hope that gives you a flavor for the box generator. Let me just flash up a couple of boxes that I've made with it, if I can. And it's gone. Let's see, box samples. Okay, so this is the simplest. This is a wave box, and here's a case where I used a top that was only 1/8 inch rather than 1/4 inch. So I had to do this in 2 passes because it's 2 different materials. And you can see we used the wave pattern. Here's an example of a box that uses an indent and then filled with epoxy and a photo. Here's one version of a lantern. Here's kind of the one I showed you. And so this is the example of a cube that you can just put text on. These are actually very cool. I gave these out as Christmas gifts. Another lantern shot. This is not a box. Here's a box where I engraved the top, and I didn't really talk about it, but rather than having all the little nibbles, you can add this just 3 connector. Here's a indented box that I made into a music box, and here's a tea box. Now all these dividers can be created, so you just have to measure things out pretty well. And again, this was a box with a transparent top, which is plexiglass, which was thinner than the 1/4 inch walnut. So again, I had to do those settings, and then these dividers were created with the divider settings. If you turn those on, they'll show up in the jobs. And next, here's the tray where I put the Sedona Mountains in there. And yeah, so hopefully this gives you an overview of the box generator, and I will be doing a couple other videos that specifically show you how to make a tray with some epoxy in it, and also how to make this indented box, which I think is can be a real seller, because you can put the picture on the top, and then you can say Yosemite or whatever. So it makes a really great gift and a great sales item for local shops. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that presentation, and please tell your friends about Laser Photo Wizard, and particularly the box generator. Thank you very much.